Welcome to part 4 of this exam series. We're up to question number 21. Let's begin. Question 21. Reflect the triangle in the line x equals 2. Right, you need to know what the line x equals 2 looks like. Now, there's a couple of ways you can think about this. Once again, as before, you could think about it as coordinates. So if I have a series of coordinates, always in the form x, y, the x coordinate has to always equal 2. So if I do a few of these, I could have 2, 5. Doesn't matter about the y, I can keep changing. The x has to equal 2. If I have a few of these and I start plotting them, so 2, 5 is there, 2, 3 is there, 2 minus 1 is there, you can see that x equals 2 is going to be a vertical line that cuts down through the x-axis at the number 2. Let me draw that in. So that line there is the line x equals 2. We're going to use that to perform a reflection, which means that we need to flip this triangle over that line so that it's the same distance away. I'm going to do that point by point. So that top point is 1 square away from the line, so I need to go 1 square on the other side, and it needs to end up there. Bottom right is also 1 square away, so if I go 1 square on the other side, it goes there. And the far left point is 1, 2, 3 squares away, so I go 1, 2, 3 squares away, and it ends up there. So my answer is going to be the triangle there. Part B. Rotate the kite 90 degrees anti-clockwise about 0, 0. Now, when you're traditionally doing a paper, this is normally the point where you should get yourself some tracing paper. I'm going to try and do this to actually show you what this would look like. So I'm going to just trace over this shape. And I'm going to grab myself a point. And then I'm going to grab all of these, put them together, and so you can see a rotation. So rotating is where you're turning a shape round, a direction and an angle. So anti-clockwise 90 degrees, that's a quarter turn anti-clockwise, which means that shape is going to end up in that position there. That is the 90 degrees anti-clockwise transformation. Question 22. Anna plays a computer game. Each game is a win or a loss. She wins 3/4 of her first 24 games. She then wins her next 12 games. For all 36 games, work out the ratio wins to losses and give your answer in its simplest form. So first of all, she wins 3/4 of the 24 games. Well, to find 3/4 of something, we have to divide 24 by the bottom, so that's 3/4 of 24 means that we're doing 24 divided by 4. So divide by the bottom number and then multiply by the top number, which is going to be 3. 24 divided by 4 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. So she wins 18 of her first 24 games. She then wins her next 12 games. So the amount of games that she wins is 18 for the original first 24 games, and then the next 12, which means she's winning a total of 30 games. She loses 6 games. That's the 36 total games minus the amount that she won, which means she loses 6. So as a ratio of wins to losses, the wins is 30, the losses is 6, and we now need to give this answer in its simplest form. These can both be divided by 6, so if I divide both numbers by 6, we'll work out that our final simplified ratio is 5 to 1. Question 23. A solid shape is made from centimetre cubes. Here are the plan, side elevation and front elevation of the shape. Right, so a plan view is what the shape looks like from up above. So if we're looking down on the shape, all we would see is a series of blocks forming an L. But it doesn't tell us what sort of levels they are, how tall they are. That's why we need the side elevation and the front. So the front of these three squares is basically looking at this plan from that direction. That would be the front. Okay, so if we look from that direction, all we would see is a full stack of 12 cubes. The side elevation, if you look at this, since it's 4 squares, the side elevation is looking from that direction. So if you can imagine this side elevation, if I could almost make it into 3D, that shape there would be the front, and that front would have all of those cubes. Maybe I should have used a ruler for this. There's the front. And then this side, we know it's only 1 cube deep because of the plan. So that's what the shape would actually look like. So we need to count how many cubes that is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cubes have been used. Now we need to work out how many cubes are added to make this cuboid. Well, if it's a 3 by 4 by 4 cuboid, we can work out how many cubes that is by multiplying these numbers together. You're working out the area of the rectangle on the front and then multiplying by how deep that goes. So that's 3 times 4 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48 cubes. Because that'd be 48 centimetre cubes. So we had 19 cubes already. We need to get up to 48. We need to find out how many cubes are added. So that is just 48 minus 19, which is 29. So 29 cubes are added to make that cuboid. Question 24. Divide 405 in the ratio 4 to 11. Okay, so if we're dividing into 4 and 11, I would normally be drawing blocks for this. And even though 11 is quite a big number to draw blocks of, I'm still going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now 405 is the total amount of everything. So all of those put together is 405. And so to work out what each individual block is worth, I need to do 405 divided by how many blocks there are, which is 15. So I'm doing 405 divided by 15. I have noticed there is a lot of division in this exam paper. Right, how many 15s can I get out of 4? None. That's now 40 because I didn't use any of those 4s. How many 15s can I get out of 40? Well, 2 15s is 30, and that leaves me with 10 that I didn't use. Then I need to work out how many 15s are in 105. Okay, so how many 15s are in 105? That you're going to need to work out just any other method. So if I count up, 15 times table, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 15s in 105. None left over, so 27 is the value of every single block. And so the share of 4 is 4 lots of 27. 2 lots of 27 is 54, so 4 lots is 108. And then you have a choice. You can do 27 times by 11 if you wish to, or you could do 405 minus 108 to find out what's left. 27 times by 11 is 297. So these blocks are all worth 297. And so the answers are 108 and 297. Question 25. The height of Zach is 1.86 metres. The height of Fred is 1.6 metres. Write the height of Zach as a fraction of the height of Fred. Give your answer in its simplest form. Right, Zach as a fraction of Fred. So Zach is the fraction on the top, so that's 1.86. And Fred is the number on the bottom, which is 1.6. Write as a fraction like that, you've already scored 1 mark. Now, for a fraction in its simplest form, we are not allowed to have decimals inside of a fraction, so we need to remove that decimal. In order to do that, we need to multiply both of these numbers by something that gets rid of the fraction. 1.86, if I multiply that by 100, that'll give me 186. And if I do 1.6 times 100, that becomes 160. And this you can now simplify down, so you can divide both of those numbers by 2. That will give you 93 and 80. And there is nothing you can divide both of those numbers by, so we can leave our answer as 93 over 80. If you wish to, you can turn that into a mixed number. How many 80s are in 93? There's 180 in 93, with 13 left over, which is still having to be over 80. Both of those answers are acceptable. That's the end of this part. There is one final part to go. We will start on question number 26.